I want to share with you something that we have an opportunity to do, and it's right here, right now, in the opportunities before us. Here's the deal. Most of you know one of our strategic missions partners is Mission of Hope, Haiti. And many of you have actually taken a trip to Haiti with us to see what God's doing there through Mission of Hope. And here you see a picture of our friend Patrick. Patrick Nozzle's on the right-hand side, and this is at the Church of Hope, right? Many of you have been there on a Sunday morning or a Tuesday night, and you remember how great it was to worship. And well, Patrick has been a friend of mine since the very first trip we took in 2011. In fact, on that first trip, I met Patrick. That was the first time I ever met him. And ever since then, I saw potential in this young man. Well, he lives in the village of Susmatla. Now, if you see that spelled out, just FYI, it looks like Source Metalis, but that's pronounced Susmatla. Duh. And so he lives in the village of Susmatla, and this is a village that we've adopted. And a couple of years ago, Patrick had it in his heart from the Lord that there's many students that are still in his village that can't afford school. What can we do to help give some Christian school to these kids? And with the help of some other people here in the States and even in Canada, they were able to build a school in that village of Susmatla. Some of you, especially on the last trip or two, you've actually been to that school. You've walked there. I've been there several times. I've seen it. And the dream was, in the midst of that school, was to one day fill that place on Sundays with what? A church. And it's happening. So this is a picture just a couple weeks ago at the Church of Hope, Mission of Hope Church, and where they were giving their blessing to Patrick. They were blessing him, praying. Because the goal is that the Mission of Hope Church and the Grace Church is the name of the church in Susmatla. They can work together. They're not, you know what it's like when churches in any area of the world, they aren't in competition. They're working together. And so because of that, a couple of Sundays ago, they brought Patrick up in front of everybody, prayed a blessing over him. And last Sunday, in the church, in the building in Susmatla, they started a church. Patrick's been meeting with leaders for several months now and has been building up to this. I talk with Patrick at least once a month and just try to help him and encourage him, whatever. And last Sunday, they had their very first service, and it looked a little bit like this. This is just kind of the picture of the stage. They were going for how many people can we fit on the stage is really what they're going for. No, just joking. But Patrick, of course, is in the center with his wife, Rose. But last week, they had around 150 people show up. It was awesome. But maybe even bigger than that. Yeah, go ahead. Give God praise for that. Isn't that awesome? Maybe even bigger than that are the 7 pastors from that village of Susmatla, the area, that were on stage with him. 7 pastors of other churches in Susmatla who they invited and said, listen, we want to reach this village, this area together. Would you come and be a part of our first service? And so they came. There's actually a speaker from the Mission of Hope, one of their pastors that actually spoke. So this is it was just a wonderful day that they had last Sunday. So fast forward to this week. As I was praying, and the Lord just dropped something in my heart. This is where you come in. The Lord dropped something in my heart. What if, because I remember what it was like starting a church. What if we took the pressure of finances off of the church in Haiti, off of the church in Susmatla, this village church, off of Grace Church? What if we took that off of them? What if we, here at Pathway Church, what if we could invest and we pay their budget for the next year? Now, I don't know if we'll do that every year, but what if this year we could bless them and we could just completely underwrite their church budget for the next year and give him a chance, of course, to teach on tithing and teach on giving. And whatever they do have, they should be tithing on. Of course, we know that. But so that was what was in my heart. And so when it's all said and done, here's where we come in. Woo! I really feel like God's put it in my heart that he's going to provide for their full budget, and we're going to take an offering next Sunday. Not today, but next Sunday, we're going to take an offering. What is that total budget? I know you're just all on the edge of your seats. You're like, how much is it, Scott? You're not going to believe it. It's only $5,000. Can you imagine $5,000? $5,000 to run that church for the next year. How many think we could knock that out in one offering next Sunday? I think we could. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. Next Sunday, this is all I'm asking. All I'm asking is that you pray. In fact, I encourage you to talk to your kids about this. And they might have their $20 or whatever they've been saving for this one. Talk to them. What if they just gave $1 of that? Talk to your little kids. And if you have a job and you have a source of income, can I just encourage you? Plan on coming next week, and let's be prepared to give towards this. And if we get more than enough in, they've got some chairs and they got some other projects that they're working on over and above the budget that we can apply that to. All this money goes to their board, which oversees the school and the church now, and it's based out of Florida. And I know the president of the board, and so the money goes to them, and then they give it to Patrick as the need arises or whatever every month. And so it's all there's a system set up. But next Sunday, what I want you to do is, some of you, the Lord might move on your heart to give like $500, maybe even $1,000. Some of you might just be $50, $100. Some of you, you're like, man, most I can give is $20, whatever. But I've got faith in my heart that next Sunday with one offering, we're going to be able to completely raise that budget. And the next year, we're going to knock it out for them. And so there's that. Good stuff. One more picture I'll throw up there real quick. That is actually a picture of their stage that they built at the end. If you've been in their building, some of you have, at the end of that big open space, you actually already invested. All the sound equipment, sound system, and those type of things was purchased by your missions giving. So you've already made a huge investment in what God's doing there in that village. And we're going to continue to want to be a part